of Careers Talk with Ryan and Jenny. welcome, everybody. How exciting. Another Thursday, another lunch, another fun 30 minutes.
Power-packed protein, full of information in a little power bowl.
Yes.
For you. Yes.
Absolutely. So, let's talk a little bit about following us on all these media platforms, because now you can watch this live and the other 2 past episodes on YouTube.
You guys, we are upgrading. We have an intro. We have a YouTube.
I mean, next thing you know, we're going to be in Good Morning Dallas.
Right? So yes, follow us on
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to YouTube.
That's right. And you can subscribe to our newsletter so that you can stay connected with us and get more information, more resources if you go to that bit.ly/careersub and subscribe to our list. So
yes. So episode 3, what is it about? This week, we're going to be talking about resume writing skills.
Oh gosh. I roll.
Lord, that hits home.
Yes.
Because as a young professional, you're always either updating it or finding ways to make it better.
Or writing your first one, writing your first resume.
It's stressful because
it can be.
You have so much that you want to sell about yourself, and at the same time, you just want to turn it in one page.
And what do you and what do you put and what do you not put on there? I mean, so many things. Many things. Yes.
So last week we were talking, just to recap, last week we were talking about job and career.
Yes.
Is there any differences between one and another? And then we discover the 3 core questions that every young professional should be asking themselves as they walk into the path of the workforce.
Yes.
And you should ponder those questions. So go into our
episode 2.
Episode 2.
Find out those questions.
Find those questions. Ask those questions yourself, and then you can rewatch this one, because I know you all are so keen to my accent that you all want to watch it over and over.
For sure.
But Ryan, tell us, what about today? What do we have today?
I am so excited because, I mean, as you mentioned, we've talked about for the past couple of weeks, making those decisions, kind of choosing your path, your career path, job versus career, and where you're going, asking those questions. But then at some point, you've got to take that step forward and apply for those jobs, right? Which means you need to have your resume and all of the tools that you need to do that job searching, resume, cover letter, all of that. So today we have a special guest with us who is going to help us, figure all of that out and give us some really good information. So I'm so excited. So I'd like to welcome our special guest, Miss Dinah Jones-Tate. And she is a career navigator, right? Am I saying that right, Dinah?
Career services coach, but I like your definition a lot better.
Yes, career services coach. Well, welcome, Dinah. Thank you. So please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yes. So first, thank you both for having me. And so I am the career services coach here at Network of Community Ministries. Sorry, my headphone's falling out.
We know the struggle.
And so pretty much I just help all of our different clients. We actually refer to them as our neighbors. So I help all of our neighbors, either if they're trying to, get back out into the workforce, if they're having a major transition within career paths, I'll help them rebuild their resume, make a brand new resume if they never had one before. Also giving them tips on how to get their cover letters going. And then I also have different workshops that they can attend to kind of, piece together their path and trying to figure out exactly, what to do what not to do when applying for those jobs.
That is awesome.
So awesome.
And I love that you guys use the term neighbors, because they are. We're in our community. We are helping our neighbors, giving them these resources. So that's amazing. So we're talking about resume writing. And so my first question is, what maybe common misconceptions or maybe even mistakes do you see or do you encounter? Are you aware of?
So I've seen a lot of people where they feel like they have to put everything onto the resume. And then sometimes their resumes turn into almost a 3-page paper. And I'm like, it's nice, it's detailed, but it's not gonna fully work because they'll probably look between the first two and they're like, yeah, too long, it's too detailed. And so I think that is the one like mistake that's commonly made. Is just, oh, I need to emphasize this or put that there so they know. And you want to showcase your skills, which is great, but it's like we got to learn how to kind of dim it down to where it still highlights those points without over exaggerating on it.
So does that mean, and I was always taught like your resume has to be one page, and then me personally, this is why I connect to that specifically, is because you feel like you have so much experience or that you want to share to whatever future employer that you want them to know everything that you can do or you've done or all the benefits you bring, but putting that into one page. So is it true? Like, does it have to be one page? Maybe not 3, but does it have to be just 1?
I try to at least make it between 1 or 2. Typically, I try to make it 1, make it very minimal to where you're highlighting, and then I would make into adding on your cover letter those specific details and all the extras that you would want to add on your resume. So at least trying to keep it between that 1 page, possibly 2, and just highlighting those relevant skills to the job you're applying for. And if you don't have the relevant skills or the relevant work experience for it.
Awesome. So here's the other question that I actually have. When did this cover letter started?
Cover letter, oh my gosh.
Because I'm going to tell you, when I first applied to the district, I did not turn in a cover letter. It was just my resume. I clearly remember that. So did you turn in one?
Honestly, I can't remember. I have a cover letter now, but I can't remember.
And what's the difference? Like, what do you put in there? The reason why are you interested in the job, or what you can bring to the job?
Yeah, like is it repetition of the resume?
Is it a repetition of the resume?
So your cover letter is more so it's kind of like selling yourself. So I don't know if you know what like the elevator pitch is, but it's pretty much within that time that you're on the elevator, within like 30 seconds, how fast, not even how fast, but how can you sell yourself to that person? So you're going to add in like, hey, this is my schooling, this is the skills that I have. This is what I can offer for you. So, you know, if you hire me, this is what you will be receiving from me. And you just want to pretty much let them know like, hey, hire me, I can showcase my skills. And even if not showcasing them, you can learn from them as well. And so that cover letter is just like that cherry on top of your resume that's going to like push it to go a little bit further.
I like that. So you do need to have both. You need to have the resume and cover letter. And so are you customizing both of those every time that you apply for a job?
So typically what I would suggest for those who are branching into a new career path is to start to specialize your resume and your cover letter for that field. So if you're going into customer service, that way you can kind of use the same resume and cover letter for that field. Me personally, I have 2. I have one for just, you know, my general basic, like, hey, if I'm going to go into customer service or kind of within that field. And then I have my more professional one, which is branching into like the social work field and nonprofit. So those 2, I feel like having just a little bit difference. You want to tailor it directly to that field.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay. So cover letter, resume, things that you want to make your resume stand out, because now you start talking about bots, right? And what are bots? If people aren't familiar with that term, what are bots? Am I saying it right?
So I know there's like,
don't ask me.
So you're kind of like referring to like before it even reaches like HR.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's like the technical term is like application tracking system. And so that's where those keywords within a job and pretty much like their mission or their goals, they're going to start to try to pinpoint some of those keywords within your resume. So if your resume is lacking some of the keywords, it's not even going to make it through to even a HR person to see it.
And what did you call them? Not bots, but you call them what again?
It's a ATS, or an application tracking system.
Application tracking system.
So talking about what's in the resume, here's a true or false question for you. So
get prepared. Be prepared.
So is it true that nowadays employers are looking more into, or is it true that we as, potential applicants are supposed to not use words in a resume such as, manage, organize, in charge, because employers truly want to see what you brought to the table to your last job. What things have you done to streamline processes, or what things have you implemented or initiated in your last or current job? Is that accurate?
I would say, I don't know. Honestly, I would say that's kind of false in a way, because if I look at a job and their mission statement and I see, so for example, like if I'm doing customer service and let's say we're applying for a manager role and they're asking like, how well did you manage your prior team, or how well were you able to implement new programs? Typically, I will take those words, but I'm going to find a synonym instead. So I might not use that word exactly, but if I can kind of tweak it a little bit to make it still that keyword, but not exactly that keyword, I feel like it still pushes it out there. Yeah, I don't really think I even say manage. I kind of I feel like manage sometimes it's like too strong of a word. So if I can, dull it down a little bit and I can put like supervise or different words like that, I feel like it would still, and that's what they're looking for.
Yes. I'm going to say too, like, I've also made the mistake of putting color on resume, because I thought like, that would help it stand out.
Did you send it like Legally Blonde? Did you send it?
I didn't put perfume on it, but it did have some really pretty colors that I thought matched my personality. So, I mean, is that wrong? Is color out? Are we still just black and white, or where are we?
I've seen so many, like, I know like people, they'll go on like Google and be like, hey, like template for a resume. And then some of them are like, it has like the pink bar going across, and then it's like shaded really lightly on the side. I just try to keep mine straightforward and to the point, so that way I don't want it to distract from anything else on my paper. And it's like, oh, it's highlighted a little magenta, and then they're not paying attention to my skills.
That's a good point. Absolutely. That is a good point. So, okay, now we're moving into this new age, because what I found is that when we started, like, however many years ago, because we're so super young, our resume writing is so different now. I mean, like some of the basic foundations are still the same, but it's a little bit different. Like even what I understand, like having that, I don't know if you want to call it a mission, but objective is kind of out.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah. Objective.
Is it out or is it in?
I still put an objective.
Okay.
I think like for me, I feel like it helps because I have to where I like the neighbors who come in and they're trying to like build their resume, I still go with the basic, outline. You have your objective or summary, your work experience, skills, education. And then sometimes I feel like they don't even ask for references like that anymore compared to them asking for the objective. But I feel like the objective is like the introduction to your resume.
So still put them, it still applies.
I still put it because that way they know exactly what it is I'm looking for. And sometimes I feel like it might help better because they can say, hey, like I see that this is what you're applying for and this is what you're looking to get out of the job. And so that way you can kind of beat the middleman. You're like, sorry, like unfortunately, that's not what we're, trying to offer right now. So I feel like the objective is still a good key part to have.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So moving even further, now we have social media tools, and you have another layer that you're adding to this whole resume and networking and getting your, your resume out there. So LinkedIn.
Love and hate. Love and hate. I must tell you the truth.
So, okay, Dinah, are you familiar with LinkedIn? Tell us what LinkedIn is, and then how it's being used.
So, guess LinkedIn is pretty much your professional Facebook. And so it's just pretty much what you would put on your resume. You can start putting onto your profile. So you'll put your education, kind of give a brief summary about yourself, as far as like your past work experiences. And then that way you can start to also connect to previous co-workers or managers that you had, and then possibly pushing yourself to network with new people into a new field that you're looking in, or possibly another job. So it's networking on a professional level.
Because I do personally know recent college graduates who are probably a little bit more social media savvy, right? And they have used LinkedIn or had their, profile on LinkedIn and been contacted from recruiters. Not that they were seeking them, but the recruiter found them. And I mean, in some ways that might be the dream for people, is that I'm out there and then there's this company that desires me, or, seeks me out. And so, like, what do you need to have on your LinkedIn? I mean, what makes that happen? How does that happen?
I would say, which I'm also still learning myself, the biggest and the main key on LinkedIn is to network. And you have to start adding those people and branching and making those connections, because I'm going to throw myself out there. I only have 11 followers on my LinkedIn. So of course, nobody's going to reach out to me and say, hey, we want to hire you for this job, because I mean, where it's hard to make those connections or to even be found if I'm not putting in that effort. So I can say, using your LinkedIn, it's gonna be quite a task, but the reward in the end is worth it.
True. And I was watching a TED Talk, and it was specifically about LinkedIn as well. And one of the things he was saying was that on LinkedIn, you need to provide content. And it was just talking about like the amount of content, because you can make posts similar to how you do on Facebook, that the top percent of the content is really being produced only by like 1% of the actual users of the platform. So that way, if you're out there putting posts or what have you, sharing information, that it kind of makes you go a little further, I guess, kind of the whole algorithm thing. But that is another tip that he was saying, is that, post on LinkedIn so that you're active. What do you think? What do you say to that?
Yeah. Oh, no, you could go ahead.
I was just going to say, it seems like LinkedIn is having a momentum, because it has been on for a long time. I remember when I created mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When I created mine, I was still working as a site coordinator.
That long ago?
That long ago.
Really?
But it wasn't so, if I'm not mistaken. But I feel like it has been for a long time. Yeah. And just recently, I started using it because of this other place called Handshake, which we use it for recruitment. I don't know if you are familiar with that, but Handshake has given this movement to LinkedIn that has been huge. And I just, I never thought about it as a tool to recruit or just, put myself out there as a professional.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's having a momentum.
Yes. Well, I think I've had my LinkedIn now for several years as well, but I'm not very active. So,
me neither.
So Dinah, we want to challenge you. We're challenging you, right? So we gave you our LinkedIns.
Yes.
Right? Hands over eyes. So if you can just kind of share with us maybe some feedback for those who are not familiar with LinkedIn, and maybe they're just getting started with an account for the first time. And then, even for those who have it, and what they can do to, make their LinkedIn even more better. That's not the right word. You know what I'm saying?
Make it professional.
More professional. Yeah,
right.
More professional, right?
Okay, so I have both of them pulled up here. Let's see. Okay, so for Jenny, we're missing a profile picture.
That's step one. Step one.
I was like, you know, when you want to put a name with the face. So
okay.
So I would.
And should that picture be like your selfie, or should you have more of a professional type picture?
I would definitely use a more professional type picture, but even if you don't have one, even if you just like now, just put on like a nice button up, take your phone with, you know, a solid background, or even just like a nice scenery in the background and just take it from the shoulders up. Or I mean, with technology now, if you got a selfie stand or just set it up, and iPhones, you could take your own now.
Yes.
So you can be your own photographer. But I would definitely, so for Jenny, get a profile picture for sure and start building your connections too. But I can't say too much because I'm still building mine as well. And then let's see, for Ryan, looks good so far. I see you are, for the most part, you're active on yours, but also getting that content and adding to your page. You do a lot of likes though. So that's like, you're still, you know, putting yourself out there, but definitely getting that content added and making, you know, your post. And even if like, you know, you accomplish something, just go ahead and, you know, just put yourself on blast and give yourself the credit, because everybody else is going to see it too. So whether you got a new certificate, or if you're accepted in a grad school, if you're graduating, definitely put that out there. So that way people are seeing like, hey, like they're doing really good.
That is, you know, like, take my own advice. I watched the TED talk and I don't even take my own, but that is true. And you know what? It's even on like just my regular social media, it's the same thing. Like I'm always liking, but what do you call it? Like a social media stalker? Like I'm there, but I'm not there.
So yeah, because I can go to my page and I can tear myself apart because I'm one, I don't really, you know, create any content myself. I'll go through and I'll just scroll and I'm like, okay, I need to start being more active in interacting and networking with people. And especially working in like nonprofit organizations, like this is the time where I can use my platform and reach out to different nonprofits and build those connections and partnerships with others.
Yes. And I also see that people are putting their LinkedIn link on their resume.
Really?
They
I've
are.
seen that. And is that a way to do it now? You put both on your resume?
Like, and personally, I feel like if you have an established LinkedIn to where, you know, that employer can go in and look and see and pull more information that isn't listed on the resume, I would say go for it. Me, I'm not going to list mine just yet. But, you know, I would say if it's more established, if it's like a really good, you know, information on there that an employer can pull from, I would list it for sure.
Okay, definitely. Oh my gosh, Dinah. I'm so happy you were here. Yes. I want to talk longer. So every week, you know, we do a resource highlight as part of our series here, community resource highlight, and we like to highlight resources in the community. So this week, Dinah, we would like for you to share your resource that you have there at Network.
Yes. So being part of the career services, we have workshops that happen. We have two actually. So we have our career cafe workshops. They happen on Wednesdays from 10 to 11. And it's just a way to come in, grab a cup of coffee, a snack, and sit through our workshop. You'll learn different topics, such as building your resume, cover letter, how to network using LinkedIn, you know, the do's and don'ts of video interviews and different topics like that. And then we have our Dress for Success program. So how to prepare for your job interview, what to wear, what not to wear. And then at the end of that workshop, you do get a professional picture taken. So you can use that for your LinkedIn profile.
Nice. I know.
I mean, so, and it works. And then if you need something more personalized, I do offer one-on-one coaching. So if you're like, you know, just looking for job leads, I can do that. Resume building, cover letters. I've helped some people fill out applications, especially for those who have a language barrier. So they may be able to speak English, but they can't quite read it yet. I'll definitely walk them through the steps of applying for their jobs.
Yeah.
And just making that one-on-one connection with our neighbors. So definitely check out Network. And then we do offer clothing assistance. We have a food pantry, and we have our case manager, and we do provide seniors net sources as well. So you should check on Network.
Yes. And you guys just have acquired this awesome facility. It is huge. It is amazing. Yes. So I love it. So how can those who are interested participate in those workshops?
Yeah, so I do have both of those flyers, and after that, I will get that emailed over to you, and I will comment below in the comments and have the links that you can go ahead and just click on them and sign up. So you can drop in, bring a friend if you like, if you don't want to come alone. Definitely expanding our career services out to the community and not just within our neighbors. So bring a friend and come learn and prepare for your job search.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. So whether you are, like she said, beginning, just getting your start in that, maybe you're updating your resume, if you're established, but all that, is always good to have that second set of eyes to help you, increase your marketability, right? To increase what you have on there. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes, thank you so much. And it was a pleasure meeting you. And because Brian told me about this, and I don't want to finish this live without her telling us, what's the funniest thing you have seen in a restaurant?
Okay, so pet peeves. Topic on resume, pet peeves, spicy food. So I needed to know that to hire you.
That's a no-no.
That's a
what
no-no.
About you? What has been the funniest thing you've seen on a resume?
The funniest. What is the funniest? I don't know. I really think the funniest is the length of the resumes, because she emailed it to me because I was going to revise it for her. And I saw the 3 pages and I'm like, whoa, this is going to take a full day's work to limit down. I'm like, whoa, 3 pages. That's a whole, I think that's longer than some of my essays that I've typed.
You need to know everything. Well, thank you once again, Dinah. Thank you for joining us. We will post all of the links. Yes, all of the links below. We'll make sure that you guys can connect. And if you subscribe, click that link, bit.ly/CareerZ so that you can subscribe, and you'll definitely get all of the resources from this episode and previously. And I want to say one more special shout out. I just want to shout out our behind the scenes Becca, producer, because listen, it takes a lot to kind of wrangle us. We can be a little, all over the place, and she just keeps us on our toes and keeps us straight in line. So thank you so much, Becca. And with that,
yes, we'll see you next week. It's our 4th and last episode.
It went by so fast.
Yes, went by so fast, but we're going to be actually talking about the interview. So tune in, because we are getting ready for this one last episode. It's going to be funny, it's going to be informative, and you want to be there. Yes.
For sure.
So thank you all for today. We'll see you next week. And have a great rest of the day. Bye.